next superstar will be from Wales or New Zealand. This guy made this prediction 3 months ago, before Chris Wood started leading Nottingham Forest to the Premier League title in 2024-25 season. What did this guy know? I've spent the last 5 months going back in time, unearthing football predictions from the deepest, darkest pits of the internet, and the results were shocking. Some of the best being Nostradamus level predictions. Welcome back to the Football Time Machine subscriber special. We're on like 7 episodes at this stage, and you guys keep sending those predictions in. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Entry, please.
Entry, please.
Ronaldo will win the World Cup, Nations League, and Ballon d'Or because of the World Cup. If Ronaldo won the World Cup, would he win the Ballon d'Or? No. If Messi had signed for Inter Miami a year earlier and wasn't at PSG whilst he won the World Cup, I don't think he would have won that Ballon d'Or. The same way I don't think Cristiano would win the Ballon d'Or if he won the World Cup for Portugal in 2026, because he's in Saudi. Of course, they put emphasis on the World Cup. Messi had class season in a top 5 league beforehand, and I don't think you would count Saudi or MLS in that Ballon d'Or ranking. I don't know. Haaland will switch nations to play in the World Cup, and Norway struggling to get into the World Cup. Had the option to play for England. Obviously, he's fully Norwegian. He's grown up there, but he was born here. It would have been pretty cool to just have such an overpowered striker with maybe Harry Kane just behind it. I mean, the team that they have is ridiculous already. With a good manager, with Tommy Tuchel, you might see something good for them. Imagine Haaland actually played for England. Lamine Yamal in 2030 will win a 3-peat at Barcelona and retire at the age of 39. I think the most obvious thing that won't happen in this prediction, Lamine Yamal, who has started his career at 16, to retire at 39. He's going to have the most glorious career of all time. I mean, he's got the potential. If we see anyone else who was being predicted for glory at 17 years old, he's in pretty good company with Pele, Lionel Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo, so we do expect great things from him. My prediction for the future, in 2030, Liverpool, coached by Xabi Alonso, will win the treble. The same year, Musiala, playing for Liverpool, wins the Ballon d'Or, best player winning the treble, and World Cup in 2030. Big year for German football. Xabi Alonso seems like he's destined for Real Madrid or Liverpool. I suppose he's got 2 career choices after Leverkusen. It won't happen at the end of this season, but perhaps if Ancelotti moves along, Real Madrid is the next step for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then he goes to Liverpool in 29, 30. City will go to the National League in 25-26 season. To be honest, I don't know what to think. Like, is it going to be hush-hush? Is it going to be brushed under the carpet? It would be quite cool if they're made an example of around this time, so fingers crossed it does happen, but just can't see it. They just do slap on the wrists nowadays, don't they? Yamal being compared to legends? Not. From the last few weeks of videos we've done, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi at 16-17 were being touted as going to be the greatest of their generation. And Yamal is at that stage already at 16-17. And I know there's loads of other players like Ansu Fati and your Bojan's even supposed to be the next big things. It doesn't happen all the time, but I think this kid is special. Barcelona will get knocked out of the Champions League by a team like Aston Villa, or a team that can counteract their offside. I think Barcelona might be a dark horse to win the Champions League this season. Man City are not in the game. Real Madrid aren't in the game. Arsenal aren't in the game. Inter Milan, meh, they look all right. Villa? You're not going to win it first time back. I know it's a marathon, not a sprint. Barcelona-Liverpool final would be pretty crazy, to be fair. Barcelona will sign Pogba. So Pogba's ban's been like lifted next season, so he's going to be a free contract. But you see him getting back to the top of the game. It would be so sick to see him in that midfield, but the midfield is so young. He's had a couple of years off of football. He'll probably just collect that bag in Saudi or the MLS. He seems to, you know, he'll suit all of that. Pogba would love doing that in the MLS, and they would love it. Oh yeah, Pogba, dab on him. Every good player will go to Saudi after a season in Europe. The Saudi will have a good, decent under 21-year-olds, big leagues, be flooded with under 21-year-olds. Ballon d'Or winner will usually be the player who plays in the Saudi Pro League. If it hadn't already been predicted about leagues like the Chinese League 10 years ago, and the Chinese League, nothing came of it. Rules were put in place where you couldn't pay players a certain amount, or you couldn't have a certain amount of foreigners in the league, and the whole premise just fell apart. So although this seems like a good prediction, history tells us it will probably go the same way. A team of robots powered by AI will have granted entry into the major football leagues. Using algorithms, machine learning, they will learn to adapt to every tactic, going undefeated in an entire season. I mean, that is pretty much the premise of that advert. How were they defeated? Pure football. That will never happen. Human sport, innit? Human football always wins. Pep Guardiola will convert a left-footed player into a right-footed player and a right-footed player into a left-footed player. Ironically, this was a joke, but Guardiola is a left-footed player scoring with bangers with his right foot at left back as an inverted DM at the moment. If anyone was going to do it, it was Pep Guardiola. Argentina will win back-to-back World Cups. Back-to-back World Cups in this day and age seems impossible. The closest thing we came to it was the World Cup final last time round, with Mbappe pulling a hat-trick out his ass in the final, and it still didn't happen. So yeah, I guarantee that Argentina won't do back-to-back. Szoboszlai will be the best midfielder in the world. Liverpool's midfield needed that rejuvenation. It had that injection of money last season, and it's finally coming good. I think Szoboszlai does have the minerals to be. He's that kind of Gerrard player. But at the moment, Gravenbach is kind of stealing his limelight. By 2026, Real Madrid will bring in Trent and Davies on the free for their fullbacks, and Rodri and Saliba, Galactico's 300 million.0, selling Rodrigo and Tchouaméni in the process. I feel like Tchouaméni and Rodrigo feel like extra parts at the moment and probably will move on. I've heard rumours of a Tchouaméni-Enzo Fernandez swap deal. I think both teams could probably benefit from that deal. Enzo Fernandez is a really good player, but just doesn't suit Chelsea's team at the moment. So I feel like him swapping with Tchouaméni, who seems like he could be a pretty good Premier League player, would be a really good deal. I think half of that prediction is probably right. With Trent and Davies and Rodri going to Madrid, I can't see that happening. Liverpool will win the Premier League on the final day as Chiesa scores a 79th minute winner. This was probably made before the whole Man City injury crisis thing happened and Arsenal not doing too well. But Liverpool winning the Prem on the final game of the season with a Chiesa 79th minute winner, we'll have to wait and see, but that sounds quite believable to me. The next superstar will be from Wales or New Zealand. This guy made this prediction 3 months ago, before Chris Wood started leading Nottingham Forest to the Premier League title in 2024-25 season. What did this guy know? Chris Wood is going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. It's just so obvious. He's going to win the Prem with Nottingham Forest. How did he know this? Sunderland will come back to the Premier League and destroy a top 6 team 4-0 next season. Sunderland look like they're well on track to get back into the Premier League, which is proper Barclays. I actually really like that. Destroy a top 6 team 4-0 next season. Well, to be fair, there's going to be an upset every season, and a promoted team is always going to upset one of the big dogs. So Sunderland to beat United 4-0 next season? Sounds believable. Neymar turns Luis Figo mode and helps save his career. We talked about this before and we thought, well, how cool would it be if Neymar got that twilight end of his career-saving move and Brazil, but he's got injured again. Like literally his second appearance back, he's done his knee or something. He's out for another month. So yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like we've seen the end of Neymar Jr. West Brom will get promoted to the Premier League and offer David De Gea one more chance at Premier League football. He'll get the Golden Glove. They'll also sign Rabiot as a free agent. West Brom getting promoted seems like, it could be on the cards. And David De Gea has proven, that it was Ten Hag all along and had a couple of years poor performances. But I think that was because of the standard he'd set himself in the past 10 years. This season or next, Newcastle will win the league. Nah. Pedri will win the Ballon d'Or in 2032 when he's 30 and carries Spain to another Euros, becoming Iniesta's heir. Pedri is a crazy, crazy talent. He doesn't put too many goals and assists down on the board. It was as if he wouldn't get his flowers. But Rodri's just won it, being a DM. So there's now hope in the world for players like Pedri to win the Ballon d'Or. And he's class, man. If he can avoid injury for the next few years, he could be a massive player for Barcelona in Spain. And yeah, he could win the Ballon d'Or in 2032. That is a huge prediction. A player at the 2026 World Cup will pass away in Mexico. It will probably be an American. That is a very specific prediction, mate. Very specific. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to report this comment to anyone, and you just mean by natural causes. But, yeah.